is the North End. This is the North End.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Mitchell here. Palace 2, Wolves 1. I don't know what to say. I do know what to say. It's in my notes. First off, I want to say great comeback from Palace. When we went down 1-0, I started getting flashbacks just of the past, being Palace. But then I also remembered a stat that was pointed out in the commentary last week, which was Palace's wins have come after conceding the first goal. I didn't think much of it. But it turns out we've made it 3 for 3 now. So first thing I want to say is that performance from Wilfried Zaha was absolutely vintage Wilf. That, my Lord, he put us on his back and said, hold up, let me just score a goal and give us 3 points. His play was something I haven't seen from him in a few years. I remember saying to a couple of my friends that it reminded me of 2013 playoff Wilf. The 2013 game against Brighton, the semifinal at the Amex. It made me think of that game, which was the first Palace game I ever watched. Seeing Wilf play tonight made me think of that. So I just am super happy with his performance tonight, super happy with everyone's performance tonight, but Wilfried Zaha showed us who he is tonight. And if we can't re-sign him, I don't even want to think about that. I don't even want to think about that right now. I just want to enjoy this moment. We're going to move on to number 2, which is another player that I'm very happy with, and I'm also upset with, and that would be Cheick Doucouré. Now this season, we brought in Cheick Doucouré to kind of be in place of Cheikhou Kouyaté. I like Doucouré a lot more. He hasn't really been able to come out of his shell that much. He hasn't been able to really do a full 90. But today, I think he had a big confidence boost. I think he was making challenges, committing fouls, which I will talk about in a second, but he was very confident on and off the ball. He was able to win the ball a lot of the times when he would go in, but that does bring up the yellow card he received. He's got a lot of cards. He's got a lot of cards to the point where he's now suspended for Saturday, if I am correct, which isn't that great, considering he's probably our best holding midfielder right now. I'm a little scared. I talked last week, or I guess I talked this weekend, about how we don't have that link from our holding midfielder to our playmaker. We don't really have that center mid, and I'm a little bit worried on who can go in there. Yes, we have Luka Milivojevic, but I've made it very clear that I'm not a fan of Luka. We have Jeff Schlupp. He's okay. We have Jairo Riedewald, who I will go to my grave saying he is the best thing that Frank de Boer has ever done for Crystal Palace, and that's not saying a lot, considering he was only in charge for, 5, 6, 7 games. But without Doucouré, I'm a little worried. So my third point is I genuinely don't think that Wolves' goal was Vicente Guaita's fault at all. I don't know what happened there. Really, it's just a textbook counter from Wolves. They saw the space. They saw where we were lacking. They moved the ball out wide, and then just a great cross. And, Adama Traore, who's wider than he is tall, somehow gets a head on it and places it perfectly in the net. I got nothing bad to say about that goal. I've got nothing bad to say about Vicente Guaita on that goal. I don't think he's to blame at all. I just think that was a good goal. But what I will say is I think Palace deserve credit for not giving up in that moment. There was every right for them to put their heads down and say, well, we've conceded. Damn, that sucks. But we didn't. We moved on, ended up tying it with a header of our own from the beautiful blonde mustachioed man, Abir Eze. And then Wilf secured it. So my fourth point is going to be Jordan gosh darn Ayew. I have no words for this man. I've gone through every emotion towards him. I've absolutely loved him. I've been all about him, thought he was my favorite player. Last season, absolutely hated him. Beginning of this season, I hated him. I don't know why we had him. And it's for games like this, where we start Michael Olise to give us more of an attacking threat down the right. And then, 75th, 80th minute, bring on Jordan Ayew when we're up. His hold-up play is absurd. He just can hold on to the ball, move around defenders. We used to say that he had the turning angle of a Sherman. He made a turn today, and that thing, he just, 180'd real quick, and I was very impressed. But it's clear that that's a man who's playing for a contract. I'm fairly certain his contract ends at the end of the season, so he's very much playing to either get it extended or show other clubs what he can do. Either way, I don't care. If he plays like that, it's good for us this year. It's good for us to get into winning ways like that, and it makes me think of, I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago, Palace versus Watford. It was, 2 or 3 years ago. It was the second last game before everything shut down against Watford. We had gone up, Jordan Ayew and Christian Benteke, 86th minute, were just having a kickabout in the corner, in Watford's corner, and it was some of the most beautiful hold-up play I've seen in football. And just seeing Jordan Ayew kind of run to the corner flag and just hold up the ball and move around, it just made me think of that, and it made me very happy. So the fifth point will be that it feels good to win. As a Palace fan, not very much used to winning. So to get 3 points from a side that we should beat, and all credit to Wolves, their goal, their attacking threat, very good. It's phenomenal. I don't know how they're so low, but yo no sé. It just feels good to be in winning ways. It feels good to get those 3 points on the board. Jump up into the top half of the table. I'm just having a good day. As Palace fans, we don't get this a lot. It feels weird to win. So So those are my 5 things that I learned for Crystal Palace versus Wolves. 1, vintage Wilf. 2, Cheick Doucouré, good and bad. 3, the Wolves goal was just a good goal. It's not Vicente Guaita's fault. 4, Jordan Ayew playing for that contract. Keep doing it. And number 5, it feels pretty good to win. So that's going to be it for me. I will see you guys on Saturday as we take on Everton. Make sure you go and follow at CPFC Toronto on Twitter and Instagram. Give us a like on Facebook. Subscribe to the North End Podcast. Follow them on Instagram and all the other socials. I've been Mitchell. And come on, Palace!
This is the North End.